Hello and welcome to the channel. Today a range test of the AOVO PRO ESBS. I've had so many comments on my channel asking me to do a range test of this commuter scooter, so here it is. Now this is the 22.5 amp battery with a claimed range of around 60 miles. Sounds ambitious, but I'm going to give it a test and see how it goes. As always, please do like, please do subscribe to the channel, and I really hope you enjoy this video. So this is lap 1 of 7 for the AOVO PRO ESBS range test. I started filming this lap just a short distance away from home, and this means that the start mileage for the lap is 0.57 miles. Now, if you're not familiar with the AOVO PRO ESBS, this is a commuter scooter. It's got a range of great features, one of my favourite features being the built-in phone holder with a USB-A charge port. This means that if you're using the scooter to get around places that you don't know, you can use your phone as a sat-nav, and that's a really helpful thing to have. There are two 14-inch pneumatic tyres, and as you've already heard, the amps for the battery are 22.5 amps. So a claimed range of 49 to 62 miles. And of course, we'll see what the total mileage is at the end of the test. This scooter has a charge time of 5 hours. And the rear wheel drive motor is at 500 watts. Now typically the default max speed for this scooter is 15.5 miles per hour, but you may be familiar with the speed hack video on my channel, which gives this scooter a new speed value of 21.7 miles per hour. So please do check that out. The steering pole folds, which means you can quite easily get this scooter into the boot of a car. And in terms of suspension, there is front suspension, and the seat has built-in suspension too. There is a front and rear headlight and turn signals on the rear also. Now the end mileage was 4.52, I actually travelled 3.95 miles. So yeah, an end mileage of 4.52 miles for this lap. So on to lap 2. Once again, I started filming this lap just a short distance away from home. So a distance of 0.58 miles. And this lap starts at 5.11 miles. I'm filming in this really nice residential area in Shrewsbury, where we live. This is not too far from home, a former mental health hospital. And as I'm riding along here, the footage switches to use of the DJI Neo, and this is a small autonomous drone. You don't need to use it with a controller, and it uses AI to follow you around. Always really love using the drone for these scooter videos, and if you wanted to buy it, it's available through my affiliate links, where it costs you a penny more, and it really helps my channel. So a shorter lap this time at just 1.82 miles covered. And that will bring a total distance so far for laps 1 and 2 of 6.93 miles. So there you go, confirmed 6.93 miles so far for lap 2. So now on to lap 3. This lap starts at a mileage value of 6.93 miles, the same mileage that I ended the last lap. Now, if you're not familiar with my channel, there are 2 other detailed videos focusing on the AOVO Pro ESBS. One of them is a very detailed unboxing, assembly and test of this commuter scooter. The other video focuses on the speed hack that I've mentioned. It's a really simple speed hack, so please do feel free to click on my channel and watch either of those 2 other videos. Now the total mileage for this lap, lap 3, was 7.12 miles. It's the second longest lap that I did of this video in total. What that means is an end mileage of 14.05 miles. And as I ended this day's filming, it meant that the battery indicator on the dash had 3 bars left, and that was the end of my filming for that weekend. So a week has passed since I recorded the first part of this video, so I start today on 14.05 miles, and as you saw, there are 3 battery light indicators still going. So I will continue on with the video and let you know how it goes. So on to lap 4 of the AOVO Pro ESBS range test. Now this is the longest lap of all 7, and for this lap I covered 8.02 miles. I mean, during the filming of this video there was so much stopping and starting, and for those of you that know e-bikes and e-scooters, you'll know that that amount of stopping and starting will have quite an impact on the overall range, because the scooter is getting you going from a standing start. It's much better to ride consistently at a single speed, for example, to get that better range. And again, I'm using the speed hack 21.7 miles per hour, so that will have some impact on the overall range covered in this test. It was a really beautiful day. Probably felt like one of the first days of spring here in the UK when I filmed this lap. Riding through mainly residential areas. Some quite rough terrain on some of these footpaths. The road's not so great either. Starting to head now back towards where we live. Using the cycle lanes here in Shrewsbury in Shropshire. This area is near the hospital. Just getting those two lads to move out of my way. I'm getting quite close now to the point that I started for this lap. And that's lap 4 done. A running total mileage of 22.07 miles. Now lap 5 was a much shorter lap, starting at 22.07 miles, covering 1.18 miles. And then this lap ends at 23.25 miles. And similarly with lap 6. Lap 6 was a very short return distance. It starts off at 23.25 miles. Just 0.9 miles covered this time, and ending at 24.15 miles. This was just a short there and back journey, so I decided to factor this in as part of the recording of the range test. So there you go, confirmed 24.15 miles running total. So I start today's filming with the distance so far on the AOVO Pro ESBS at 24.15 miles. There are 2 battery indicator lights left on the dash, so I'm aiming to conclude the filming for this video this afternoon, and we'll get a sense of the full range of the scooter. So this lap 7, the final lap, was recorded the next day, and as you can see, the weather had deteriorated from that glorious sunshine that we were bathed in the day before. So pretty wet and miserable this day. I was pretty confident that for this lap number 7, that I would see an end to the battery on its current charge, but I didn't know quite when that was going to happen. So I can see on the dash there, it's just coming up to 4 miles for this lap. And I can sense a drop in power as the lap progresses. 4.29, 4.3 miles on the dash there. And the scooter started to slow down. Now there was one battery indicator left on the right hand side on the blue dash indicator there, and that started flashing at that point, so I knew it was time to head back towards home. I just got that little bit of grunt left, but it was really slowing down, so you'll know when this battery's running out of power. A total end mileage there of 28.92 miles. That lap was 4.77 miles. So there you go, a total distance of 28.92 miles for the AOVO Pro ESBS commuter scooter. Now the things to consider here are I'm a heavier rider, so that's going to factor in to the distance. So much stopping and starting as well. As you know, this video was filmed over 4 days, so getting off to a moving start using these scooters does draw on more energy. And also this scooter is hacked to the upper speed of 35 kilometers per hour, 21.7 miles per hour. So call it 30 miles, I think, is a reasonable, usable distance for this e-scooter. Pretty impressive all the same. If you're using this to travel to and from work, then 30 miles, if you're unable to charge it, is going to hopefully get you there and back. As always, please do like the video, please do subscribe to the channel, it would help me out so much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.